Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Here on this channel, I am painting and restoring old cameras with defects. Today I will show you how I turned the Fotokor one camera into this beauty. Enjoy. I came across this camera at a flea market. It was pretty banged up. The leather was torn, most of the parts were damaged, and overall it looked rough. Unfortunately, I didn't think to take any pictures at the time, but trust me, it was in really bad shape. I've started the sanding process. First, the old paint was stripped as much as possible using a metal wheel and a Dremel tool. And now it's time for some good old-fashioned hand sanding. Don't worry, I won't bore you with 7 hours of sanding footage, but I'm sure you can imagine how my hands felt after working on all the parts. Once the sanding was done, I applied a coat of primer and paint. For this project, I needed some extra help, and my boyfriend was amazing. He took on the brass parts, sanding and polishing them as best as possible, considering the camera's rough condition. Now, it's time to start sketching. I spent a lot of time debating what design to go with. I had some fresh ideas in mind, but I wasn't sure, since I hadn't seen them used on other cameras before. I wanted to approach this project carefully and not risk messing it up. In the end, I decided to stick with a classic look. A skin-toned background with crow designs. It felt perfect. Classy and simple. Exactly what this camera needed. For the background, I used spray paint to create a smooth, even base, and for the crows and other intricate elements, I went with acrylic paint. As you can see, I'm working with just one small brush. I like this method because it gives me more control and stability, especially for those delicate details that really bring the design to life. Now, about the crows, there's something intriguing about them, isn't there? They're often seen as mysterious, even a bit ominous, but I love how they embody freedom and intelligence. Painting them in black against the soft, skin-toned background creates a beautiful contrast. The simplicity of black and white, or in this case, black and beige, has always drawn me in. It's minimal but striking at the same time. The boldness of the black crows really pops against the neutral backdrop, giving the whole piece a sense of balance and elegance. I find that working with contrasts like this, bold against soft, light against dark, adds a kind of depth to the design. It keeps the eye moving, catching those sharp details in the crows while still appreciating the subtlety of the background. It's this balance of simplicity and intricacy that makes the whole painting feel complete. I also decided to try something new this time. I thought using an acrylic marker would make my life easier for the finer lines, especially for the small details in the crows. But as you can see, I'm struggling a bit with it. There just isn't a marker thin enough for the level of precision I need. I was hoping it would speed up the process, but it turns out the small brush still gives me more control for those really delicate lines. The marker is great in theory, but when you're working with tiny details, it can be more of a hassle than a help. I guess some techniques just can't be rushed. So, for now, I'll stick with my trusty brush for those fine lines, even if it takes a little longer. The camera's sun hood was completely destroyed, so we decided to redesign it with a more modern and functional approach. Here, you can see me working on the sides of the new sun hood. The stiffeners are 3D printed, giving them structure, and then covered with fabric to keep everything looking uniform and sleek. I'm also marking the folding sections to make them more visible. This will make it easier to fold the hood neatly when in use, ensuring it's both practical and stylish. We wanted to strike a balance between preserving the camera's vintage charm while making sure the new hood is durable and user-friendly. The door of the sun hood is also 3D printed, and as you can see, I've already prepped it for painting. It's got a clean, smooth surface, ready for the finishing touches that will tie it into the overall design. Using 3D printing for this part allowed us to create a precise, custom fit while keeping the structure lightweight. Now that it's ready, the next step is to give it a coat of paint to match the rest of the camera, making sure it blends seamlessly with the new, modernized sun hood. I'm in the process of gluing the sides to the door of the sun hood, making sure everything stays in place while still allowing it to fold and unfold smoothly. The design looks really neat, and on paper, it's a solid concept. However, in reality, it still needs a bit more engineering to be perfect. It works well enough for now, but there are some adjustments to be made to improve the functionality and durability. It's a great prototype, though, and with a few tweaks, I think it'll really come together as both a practical and stylish solution for the camera. As you can see, the sun hood does fold and close, but it's pretty stiff and difficult to open. To fix this, I decided to simplify the design by using a stiffener only on the longer side of the hood. This small adjustment has made a huge difference. It now opens and closes much more smoothly. We also decided to make the bellows ourselves. It's not our first time tackling this, so we pretty much know what to expect. My boyfriend took on the task of cutting them out, and I handled the gluing. Having done this before, we've got a good system down. It's a bit of a process, but working together like this ensures everything comes together neatly and efficiently. We're looking forward to seeing how the bellows turn out. Each step brings us closer to the finished project. There are quite a few options when it comes to materials for bellows, with leather being the most common choice. However, I couldn't find any thin leather that suited our needs, so we decided to take a more modern approach. We opted for vinyl, which has adhesive on one side, making it easy to bond with paper. Vinyl is both flexible and thin, and it's light-tight, which is essential for this project. I glued the paper onto the vinyl and then cut out the thin fabric that will cover the top of the bellows. After gluing everything together, I marked the folding lines to ensure the bellows will fold properly. This method turned out to be a practical solution, combining modern materials with traditional techniques to achieve the desired result. Now it's time for the bellows to take shape. I connected both sides and started folding them into place. It took a bit of time, but having the folding lines marked out made the process much easier. The lines guided each fold, ensuring that everything aligned properly and the bellows formed correctly. It's always satisfying to see a project come together, especially when the prep work pays off and makes the final steps smoother. Next, I'm gluing the bellows to the frames and cleaning up any small marks I made. Once that's done, we'll get to see the camera in its halfway assembled state. It's exciting to see how things are coming together, and it's a great moment to assess the progress so far. When I bought the camera, I also got a film holder that, as you can see, wasn't in the best condition either. After cleaning the holder, it was time to assemble the camera. Want to see how it turned out? This has been quite the journey, and I've really enjoyed the restoration and painting process. It's amazing how, even in modern times, we can take something old and give it new life. The camera isn't perfect. It's not like a brand new one, and it shouldn't be. I'm happy that it still shows a bit of wear and tear. It's a testament to its history and usage. I hope you enjoyed following along with this restoration, modification, and painting project, or whatever you want to call it. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.